Hi, I'm Arglefump. This is the schedule for Arglefump Reads for February 2025. It's Valentine's Day this month, so I'm going to read a bunch of Harlequin romance novels, which is silly to say because most of them are not romance novels. Let me go through them real quickly. This one is actually a romance novel, and I picked this because it has Harley Quinn in the name. It's like, oh man, I could make a bunch of hilarious Batman Harley Quinn jokes. It's kind of a terrible book. Like, they are a terrible couple together. Mainly because he's like a snobby jerk, and she's like 16, but she acts like she's 12, and he proposes on their very first date, and he's mean to her. He keeps calling her a little kid, because she keeps acting like she's 12 years old. It was not good. They were a terrible couple. Also, The Dead Stay Dumb. So this is an age-restricted one. So I specifically age-restricted this one. So you have to be over 18 to watch it because it is just an exceedingly violent novel where, like, a bunch of gangsters murder, other terrible things they do. It's really bad, really bad. Did not enjoy that one at all. Just over-the-top violence. That's my description. It's over-the-top violence. That's the whole point of the novel, is to be over the top and violent. So this is a mystery, a spider house. That is, it's more of a mystery, and then it has this weird interlude for like 50 pages where our detective... Okay, so like the first third, our detective hero goes to this house where somebody's murdered, and there's this really seductive nurse. I guess that counts as romance, maybe. And then the middle third, he just goes off and fights a bunch of gangsters and solves like a puzzle riddle. And then in the final part of the book, he comes back and easily solves the mystery. Like, so easily that you wonder, why didn't he just solve it to begin with? And so I don't know what the middle third of this book was about. It felt like something from a completely different novel just thrown into this one. Be Still My Love was turned into a movie at one point where, it's not a romance novel, but it's this professor and the student, and he kind of, let's say it's non-consensual, so he tries to do non-consensual things with her, and then she murders him, and then the rest of the book is basically like, it's a psychological murder mystery as we see how, committing murder changes her and how she keeps trying to cover up the murder, and she does get caught at the very end. The mystery solution is dumb, though. I'll spoil it. So, the way she is caught is because she doesn't know how men's swimsuits work, and so she did it backwards. She thought they tie in the back. Yeah, that's how she accidentally messed up. She thought men's swimsuits tie in the back, and that's a really dumb way to slip up. The next Harlequin novel, the other two Harlequin novels, 16 and 15. So 16, kind of a romance, kind of a mess. Okay, so we've got Phyllis. She's perfectly fine, and she's got like the best boyfriend ever, but she wants to marry her boss. She's got a huge crush on her boss, and so she tries to seduce her boss. Meanwhile, her boyfriend gets a new girlfriend. Don't worry, it's a happy ending. They do end up together. And complicating the novel is that there's no nice girl. So her evil cousin comes and basically tries to ruin her life. So she gets Phyllis fired. She tries seducing Phyllis's boyfriend. She is just so mean and nasty. And actually, she's successful in seducing Phyllis's boss. Basically, she's kind of a weird villain, too, because she spends all her time crying. It's like, oh no, I'm so poor and innocent. Even after she does all this mean stuff, she pulls like this I'm an innocent 12-year-old girl routine, and it's just not good. That was weird. But number 15 was another book I did not like. I only got like a third of the way through this book before I'm like, you know what, I can't handle this, I can't read it. So it is supposed to be a wild comedy where our main character, our narrator, she's just this really stupid girl, and she is very easily distracted. to the point where the narration is just really hard to read because she'll just go off on random tangents. Like, she sees a newspaper and then she starts thinking about her uncle because he took a photo once. And she gets involved in this weird situation with like FBI agents trying to track down a gem or something. Well, that is the randomly selected group of Harlequin novels which are going to be posted this month. One of them's a romance novel, one of them's a violent gangster novel, murder mystery, kind of a romance story. It does have a happy romance ending, and then a weird comedy I disliked. So what else am I reading this month? Let's move away from the romance for a moment. Batman Resurrection. So this is a book that takes place in between the two Tim Burton Batman movies. It was released last year in October. The Babysitter's Club official coloring book is based on the Babysitter's Club graphic novel series. I figured I would read it, right? Like, how long has it been since we've had a new Babysitter's Club book? It's been a while. There's also a Babysitter's Club book, which was released for the Netflix TV show. I'll try to read that as soon as I can. 2 Nancy Drew Files books. This is one, Skipping a Beat, is where a rock star opens a restaurant, and Frank is the name of the chef who's in love with George, and their crush is pretty cute, and George is always fighting with Nancy, because Nancy thinks Frank is guilty. And it's an okay book, but like the final 15 pages are bad. They're done badly. Like the culprit reveal is done badly. There is no need for the culprit to reveal themselves, except it's the end of the book. And then the culprit's arrested and sent away. And then we have like this big cliffhanger chapter, a big cliffhanger ending, which is weird because, the culprit's already been arrested. There's no danger anymore. Why are we having a big cliffhanger? And then we have to wait another like 10 pages before we get the explanation of why the culprit did what the culprit did. And it's not the culprit who confesses, it's a relative of the culprit who confesses. So all in all, it's like kind of a weird ending with 3 different ways that it's strange. And then number 118 is a wedding book. Nancy and Ned are going to a wedding, and this is a decent one. I'm not quite sure how to fix it, though, because 2 problems. Nancy's investigation is terrible. Like, there are 2 chapters where she's trying to find somebody, and then she doesn't. So she spends a whole chapter looking for Shannon, doesn't find her. She spends a whole chapter looking for the groomsman, and by that I mean like a horse person who takes care of horses. Doesn't find him, and so those 2 chapters were both a waste. Also, the horse death that happens, it's not a death, but an accident happens with the horse around chapter 3 or 4, and Nancy doesn't look for the groomsman until like chapter 12, so I don't know why she waited so long. But the romance drama in this was pretty good. Like, I like that. I like the romance drama. So, yeah, that's fine. Alright, what else? I'm posting an X-Force by X family manga reviews because they seem fairly popular, so I figured let's keep going. I think this one is a bunch of 1-chapter stories. This one is a story about Yor. We actually get to see her do her job as an assassin, where she's a bodyguard on a cruise ship, and she has to murder just this giant crew of assassins trying to kill her target. But she has to protect her target. Huge shootout. Very violent, actually. Kind of like The Dead Stay Dumb. Yeah. This one is also a series of one-shot stories, I believe. I just remember the one with Becky is one I did not like, because she's like 9 years old, and her story is that she's trying to get Twilight to fall in love with her because she's acting out all these scenes from a soap opera. And it's supposed to be funny, but also it just doesn't work to have a 9-year-old acting out soap opera love stories. I'm sorry. And then book number 10 was an interesting one. I like this one. The first half of the book is just Twilight's backstory, so it's like an extra long backstory, as opposed to like this one where each chapter is a different story focusing on a different character. It's like half the book is just one story, one chapter, so that was different. I believe on the 25th of this month, there is a new Sweet Valley Twins graphic novel being released, so that's what my open slot is there on the 25th. If I don't get that graphic novel done, just 2 more Harlequin romance novels, I guess. And then on the 28th, I'll be posting Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations Volume 4. Now for all the book reviews I did last month, January. Tales of the 6th Grade Muppet, Books 1 and 2. I love Muppet stuff. It's basically a Muppet version of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I've got a compilation video with all of the Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigation mangas. I've got Wings of Fire number 8, because that graphic novel just came out, so I checked it out. A bunch of American Girl Felicity books. And several of them are compilations, like this is a compilation book, this is a compilation book, this is a compilation book, and this is a compilation book. The unique Felicity books are this is a Choose Your Own Adventure with Felicity. You go back in time. Very informative and educational. Maybe a little bit too much so. We don't really get to interact with the Felicity characters. We mostly get to learn about history. I have a general review for the series. I do not like it as much as the American Girl Kid series. Like, I gave a thumbs up to every American Girl Kid series, but with Felicity, I had a lot of sideways thumbs ups. This is an educational book. Welcome to Felicity's World. Thought it was great. Liked it. Very funny Elizabeth. Not very good. It's a sequel to the Felicity series starring Elizabeth, and just everybody's out of character the whole time. The premise is that Felicity and Elizabeth love playing pranks, and that's nowhere in any of the other Felicity books. And it kind of leads to a comedy story where Felicity's sister is engaged to marry just this completely dopey guy who's got a cartoonishly villainous sister. And they stop the wedding by putting a snowball in the sister's wig. That's like a running theme in the Felicity series. Like, whenever she does something really bad that she should be punished for, she doesn't get punished. But yeah, that feels like something that should be punished. Book number 6, Changes for Felicity. I like that one. This one has like 3 or 4 different stories, and I'm totally fine with having 3 or 4 different Felicity stories in one book. That's good. That's much better than the books where there's like only one story, and then half the book is just talking about stuff that they're selling dolls for. Although there was a lot of stuff in this book which is just for selling doll accessories. Didn't like that. More Little Miss books. I realized, wait a minute, I could just watch a bunch of videos on YouTube of people reading the Little Miss books rather than like having to buy them myself. So I watched a few of them and wrote Little Miss reviews. So Little Miss Shy, I think, was okay. Little Miss Trouble, man, she really has it in for Mr. Small. Like, she causes trouble for Mr. Small, and other guys run up to Mr. Small and punch him in the face. Very violent. Oh my gosh, I don't know why she hates Mr. Small so much. Little Miss Greedy was not very funny. Like, the joke is she likes eating food a lot. Ha 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 ha. It's not the only, like, Little Miss book. Like, Little Miss Shy, the joke is she's shy, ha 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 ha. But I thought this was funny and realistic, whereas this one, just repeating that same joke, I didn't like it. Little Miss Wise was weird. I thought it was strange. I don't understand the moral of this book. The next 2 Magic Treehouse graphic novels, they released them last year. They wrote 2 of them last year, and you know, basically I just take my reviews for the normal Magic Treehouse books. I only have to make a few changes because the graphic novels are very, very faithful adaptations. So these make for easy reviews. And then we've got Harlequin number 13, and that's what gave me the idea to post Harlequin book reviews this month. This one is not very good. It's about a woman who's a doctor. It's got like these stories that don't overlap. She's a doctor. She gets like unjustly fired from her position, but she gets it back. Meanwhile, her husband's an author who's cheating on her. Like, oh, it's pretty bad, and she's just sort of supposed to sit there and hope he comes back to her, because that's how love works. And I'm like, no, that's not how love works. It's kind of terrible. You like really humiliate. Yeah, her husband's terrible and does not deserve her. She's fantastic. You could tell like this was an old 1940s book, because like People are smoking in the doctor's office. There's like drunk driving, and nobody cares at all. Yeah, her husband is basically having drinking parties with his ex-girlfriend, drinking and kissing parties with her, and yeah, he's a bad guy. Ooh, Frozen, a pop-up adventure is really good. It's a pop-up book based on Frozen. Fantastic, I like that one. Two Nate the Great books, stupid read. The solution in this book I felt was implausible, but the solution in The Fishy Prize, also kind of implausible, but clever, and it works. It's clever enough that I like it. The most recent Dogman book, book number 13. I don't know if this is the last book of the series or not, because at the very end, it's like, it's a brand new series with the same old characters. Stay tuned for Big Jim... I forget the subtitle. But yeah, so is this the last Dogman book or not? I don't know. It ends by saying there's a whole new series, but it could just be a spin-off series. Honestly, a spin-off series with Big Jim would be fantastic. I love Big Jim. He's funny. And then two Little Miss books, Little Miss Princess and Little Miss Star. The Princess book is okay. I don't think the moral of the story was thought out. She's basically useless and can't do anything right, which is a common story in, like, the Little Miss series. But it's supposed to be played off as a joke. And, like, I don't know. I thought she was supposed to be a good role model, not an idiot. And then Little Miss Star wants to be famous. She wants to be famous, and this is all leading to a joke ending. And then the Garfield postcard book. There's like 5 of these postcard books. It's fine, I guess. They're very repetitive, but if you're mailing the postcards out to different people, they won't know that the same joke is being used over and over again. Well, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. I feel like I talked way too much in this video. Have a nice February. Bye.